Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta. I've got the Trifecta triple this week, and we're looking at the new normals in American life. Everybody knows the new normal for the economy. That's weak growth and high unemployment. But looking around me, I've noticed that there are other new normals, and today we're going to look at the second of them, the new normal in American politics. So let's wrangle Scott Ott and Bill Whittle into their little boxes so you can see what I mean. Gents, there were three stories this week that I want to wrap around this idea that there's a new normal and how this country operates politically. We're doing a little Brady Bunch action here. The first is the ongoing IRS scandal. It's almost a year old now, and President Obama claimed just last week, and this is a quote, that there's not even a smidgen of corruption in the IRS's targeting of conservative political groups, while at the same time, he's stonewalling the investigation and refusing to let the chief investigator testify before Congress. Scott, am I being paranoid here, or is this weaponization of the federal government against its own citizens really the new normal?
Oh, no. I mean, you're only paranoid if somebody's not out to get you. And in this case, I mean, there was a column in the Wall Street Journal this week by a guy who sits on the FCC. He's an FCC commissioner, Federal Communications Commission. And he said that the FCC has now initiated a new program going around and conducting surveys with local TV stations to find out how they decide what gets to be news. Because apparently somebody up in our government, in the federal government somewhere, has decided that the real important information is not getting out there, and we need to find out why it's not getting out there. And so isn't this a great idea? You send the FCC, the agency that licenses these local broadcasting entities, and to do a voluntary survey about what gets in the news and what doesn't get in the news. I mean, this is like a mafiosa kind of scheme. No, I think there really is an intentional effort. It may not be as coordinated as we might like to think, but there's an intentional effort by people in the federal government to say, you know what, all this liberty stuff has gotten out of hand, and we'd like to rein it in.
I missed that FCC story. As soon as we're done taping here, I'm going to pull that up, and I've got to write something about that, because that is frankly one of the most frightening things I've ever seen. It's one thing for the Washington press corps to get in bed with Washington, D.C. It's another thing for Washington, D.C. to be coming out to flyover country and intimidating what are supposed to be independent news stations like this. All right, Bill, believe it or not, this isn't a partisan issue either. The Daily Caller reported on Friday that a Washington Republican PAC, this is made up of moderates, rhinos if you will, has teamed up with labor unions to shut down outsider challenges to the status quo, shutting down Tea Party candidates. Again, am I being paranoid here, or is it really Washington pitted against the rest of the country?
Well, obviously it is, Steve, and that's why the Republican Party wonders why they lost the last two elections, why nobody came out to vote. The reason nobody came out to vote was nobody was expounding their principles, nobody was talking about what's important to them, espousing, I suppose I should have said. But in any event, no one is making the case for conservatism, so conservatives don't come out. And what you find is you have the party of big government and the party of slightly less big government locked in a battle of Clash of the Titans. And again, it's the new Coke thing, right? Who wants to, if your choice is Pepsi and new Coke, you might as well drink the Pepsi. If you don't have conservatism, you might as well take the progressivism full bore or sit it out. It's not in your imagination. When I hear about Republicans making challenges to Tea Party people, try to lock them out of the equation, that's one thing. To find out that they team with labor unions to do so is simply an indication that the people who go into politics because of personal reasons of control and aggrandizement and narcissism, and they are unfit to compete in the marketplace of ideas or the marketplace of business, and so they go to the one place where their unfitness to compete is negated by the fact that they have the power of legislation to basically spend other people's money. The short form of what I'm trying to say here, put the Republicans aside for a second, Barack Obama demonizes businessmen who fly around in private jets, but he flies around in the biggest private jet in the world. He's got a 747, and there's another one waiting right behind it in case the first one breaks down. No one ever thinks that Barack Obama has the technical or the intellectual skills to amass that kind of money out in the private marketplace. But if you go around and gin up a little class warfare and hand out some forms and generate enough resentment, then you can get people to vote for you, and now all of a sudden you have all the power you want. The reason I bring up Obama in this case is that the Republicans who we send to Washington as a general rule have exactly that same motivation. Motivation? What's the matter with me today? Motivation. They want the power. They want the power and they want the perks, and they don't care about whether the Republicans lose so long as they get to stay in office as a minority party. That's my strategy, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, getting scraps off the other side's table. It's a sad situation. And folks, let me tell you why I don't think I'm being paranoid here. The last story that came to my attention was just on Tuesday morning. They were taping this from PJ Media's own Tom Bloomer. He noticed during the State of the Union address that the president boldly declared in front of the whole nation that he was going to simply bypass Congress. That's bypassing the Constitution in order to get his way. Now, half of Congress, that's right, Bill, half of Congress applauded that statement, and the other half of Congress did nothing to stop it. And that, my friends, that is how a republic becomes an empire. Don't you worry, in part 3, we're going to show you how to stop it. That one's for members only, so you know what to do. For Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, I'm Steve Green.